Hello, toy friends. Welcome back. I'm Will, and this is Wilhelm 118. Just a fun little get together we're doing. Uh, oops. Okay. I had the stream on another tab there. First of all, just want to say happy Easter, everyone. It's been a long time. I've kind of missed doing this, and I'm a little out of my element here. Just hoping everything's coming out. So if you guys could just give me a sound check and just let me know if everything's coming through clear, uh, I'd appreciate it. I did test before I started. I haven't used any of this equipment in months, so um, just hoping it's working out well. And you could see the toy cam there. So yeah, so I'm back. So that's great, 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 great. So excited that you guys are here. And I was really doing this, and I can't believe how many people are here. So thank you for that. Let's say hi to everyone that's come by here. We've got Mudhorn Station. Ian, how are you? And Mr. Batery Bob, how you doing? This guy, Schmodulok, Andrew Davis. What are we talking about today? Well, Andrew, we're going to be doing some unboxings because over the months, even though I haven't been doing anything here or really on social media too much, uh, stuff's been coming in, and I've picked up a few pieces here and there, and the pile's getting pretty big. So I thought, why not? You know what? I got the day off. I'm caught up with everything. Why not? Let's rip some toys out of their package. And thought if you guys didn't have anything else to do, I could share that moment with you. So we've got some Super 7 G.I Joe stuff, some Strike Force Alpha stuff, which I lied. I already opened up, but they're right over here. Um, and I've got these little guys that are the ZD Toys 118 scale Spiderman and Avengers figures. I'm really curious about these, and got quite a few of them to show off. So we're going to get into it. And then as a bonus, we're going to be doing a little 3D printing toy showcase. And that's some of these wonderful items you see over here that I've printed up. And those are out there um, from some wonderful toy designers in our community. And we will get into that in just a minute. So, Bjorn, anyone else here that I haven't mentioned yet? Well, Jeff Morris is here. How you doing, buddy? Happy Easter to you. And okay, so good. Coming in, sounding good. Okay, excellent. And hey, Eric, how are you? Happy Easter. And Outer Multiverse is here. Howdy, what's up? Um, that would be a challenge. And yep, 118 scale, yes. Uh, oh, you're going to catch the replay, hunting eggs. By all means, enjoy time with your family. Um, and that is right. It is the Lord's scale. We should remember that today. So, without further ado, unless anyone has, anything else, what do we want to talk about? Hey, Zema Rogue, how is it going, man? Yeah, things have been going better, and I'm happy to say that after this Sunday, I might be doing this every week. So once again, it might not be on Sunday, and it may not be on the same time that it used to be, but expect more live streams, especially more like this format. Because I think I could pull this off more often, just like this, where we just hang out, chill, talk 118. And I know some of you, I follow you all on Instagram, and I've seen some of your posts. So I know some of these toys you guys have gotten already, and I've been, admiring from afar. So uh, glad to hear it. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, and definitely, yeah, yeah, yeah. So hopefully more. I will tell you kind of what happened was, just real quick, kind of got into some stuff, just some health issues that are doing much, much better since December. Those came about, but 10 times better. some things at work, and other things. Just life gets to you. And yeah, I kind of lost the urge to do this, or the kind of fell to the wayside. Then something really exciting happened, and that is, well, I got this new printer. I got this FlashForge Adventurer 5M Pro, and I had been shopping around for a new printer for a long time. And anyway, just the opportunity presented itself. It wasn't like I fell into a bunch of money. I got like a really good deal. Like I had been shopping around and thinking about different printers and stuff. But anyway, got this as a really sweet deal. It was like $150 off, and then like 12 months no interest payments. So it's like a no-brainer. It's only like 20 something dollars a month for 12 months with no interest and $150 off. I was like, yeah, I'll take it. Anyway, this thing is a game changer. Absolutely night and day compared to my old printer, which is going on about 5 years old now, and I think it was like a 3-year-old model when I bought it. So you know it's a lot of older technology, but it really makes printing so much easier. Auto bed leveling, faster speeds, enclosed chamber, handle a variety of different materials. Just it's come a long way. Well, as I got this thing in and I was running it through its paces, one thing that's great about it is my son really got into it, and he really got into it. Like, when I was like, you know what, for this one, because the other one was not finicky, but yeah, sometimes you start a large project. Let's just put it this way: I was afraid to do anything that took more than just a couple hours because, I'd get 5 hours into something and then just come back to a spaghetti mess because some setting or something was off, and really don't have that issue with this one. Anyway, my son really got into it, and he's been printing up just tons of stuff for miniature wargaming. And he kind of we've been doing it together for the last 2 weeks or so. And I mean, just running this thing like night and day. And every time we finish a print, we're like, what's next? So it's really gotten me excited for this. And then I kind of had all this like collected stuff in the area, so I had to go through it all. And anyway, got my brain working, and I was like, I got to open this stuff up, free it from the packaging, throw that stuff out, really reduce its size, and just happy to be able to share it with you guys. Hey, Epic Badger, how you doing? Happy Easter, buddy. And hey, Bill from Weird Fantastic Toy Adventures. Hey, how's it going? Happy Easter to you and your family. Boba Hicks, I was watching him this morning. Really great. Uh, that is a Z-Force ATC, and it's a beautiful toy. I'm so happy to have it. Hey, thank you. Thank you, Bill. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Can we dust off the what's well printing? Well, yeah, I'm really hoping to do that. And, one of the things I was thinking was love the 1/18 scale. Love doing the talk about it every week. And, sometimes there's not that much to talk about. Fortunately, for the last couple of months, though, we've been getting slammed. Tons of great stuff to talk about. But I thought maybe I would also do another show where it's like we talk about the 1/18 scale printing part of it, 3D printing part of it, because I got to tell you, what I'm finding is there's not a lot of stuff like specifically designed for 1/18. There's a lot of good action figure things, but as far as like play sets and vehicles go, there's kind of a gap there, and I'd like to explore designing or just finding files and printing them and assembling them. It's a great project, gives me lots of satisfaction. So maybe a separate stream where we talk about those things. And quite frankly, there's a ton of war gaming or, like that wargaming scale stuff. And a lot of that can be scaled up to the 1/18 scale. I have a small project I'm working on now. I'm not quite ready to show it, but it's a tabletop gaming piece of terrain that I scaled up to 1/18 scale. And while it did take some maneuvering to get it to print, the detail, if the model's a good model, like that's another thing. models are not all equal. Some print flawlessly amazing the first time. Others, you got to do a lot of, you got to tweak them a little bit just to get them to work right. But the models I got, which were free online, they were, I mean, I scaled them up and they look beautiful. So a lot of options there. And I think for people that are into world building or, just people that want a, playset, but they want to make it the way they want it. This could be valuable. So that's pretty good. Hey, don't forget to hit that like button. Tap, tap, tap. Thank you. TVC has been getting some good reveals lately. I'm a little out of the loop, so I will definitely check that out. I have seen, some of the stuff that you've been posting in the group chat and stuff, Bjorn, and it looks really cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Scotty, how's it going, buddy? Happy Easter. Can you scan Imaginext playsets on the computer, upscale, and print 1/18 scale? Not sure how that works, but would be interesting. Well, probably maybe not a 1-for-1 scale, but they are like I'd love to do a whole stream on those because the play features, the intricate, details that they put into it, not only are they play sets, but they're very interactive and well made. So I would say maybe a better thing would be, because I've looked at quite a few of them, is using one of those wonderful Imaginext play sets as inspiration in trying to maybe model and design something that harkens to it, really kind of pays homage to it, but is not a direct scan of it, even though I'm sure someone could do it. I mean, people are doing like classified scale USS flags, for example. There's a guy who made that, it costs hundreds of dollars and would cost you even more, hundreds of dollars to print up. But, I'm really talking about like stuff like this playset right over here. This is like a small, I would consider this a medium playset. And, it's double-sided, so it's got the little barracks inside. But you could use the front half of it as many different things, and it would look great. What I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm gonna grab I'm gonna grab some of these O-ring Super 7 figures and pop them open, and I'm gonna just pop up the toy cam here real big. And yeah, they're definitely play sets, totally interactive. Next to play features, there's buttons. It would be nice to build buildable sets the first year, fit 118 skill. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, Rad did a classified scale PT boat. Yeah, dude, he's amazing. So you know what? Actually, first thing we'll do is why don't we talk about so what I want to show you here is we've got our Strike Force Alpha figures, and I do get the names wrong, but this is the Wraiths, I think, right? Yeah. This is no, this is Shadow Blade. He is one of I guess he's not the master or the leader, but he is. And then there's the Night Wraith, which I got previously. And then we've got Dr. Diablo. This is a great looking figure right here. It comes with a sword. Great bad guy. Great color scheme. Love him. And then I've got or Capitan of Strike Force Alpha. Right. I don't know if he's the leader, but I'm a little. But he kind of looks like Matt LaCroix, if you know who he is. But I want to go over here and just pull up. And this is what the reason I brought it up is because let's go ahead and just share this real quick. So let's take a look, guys. So hopefully you could see this, right? So over here on the Strike Force Alpha, so yeah, bad guys need swords for sure. So hopefully you could see this. Let's see. Anyway, our Strike Force Alpha stuff, I would just want to check in on them. Some of the stuff is selling out. They are getting ready for, they are working on a wave 2 of the Strike Force Alpha figures. And with that, they are going to come to And then they're going to sell out of these. So let me find the thing. But as you can see, some of the prices have come down, guys. So if you haven't pulled the trigger on these, I love that you can get like, did they sell the accessories also? If you look here, you can get the just a 3 and 3/4 inch 3 and 3/4 inch action figure cloak with hood. It's really well made, and $4 is just a no brainer there. Just great. Um, this was a signed by Bill Merklin. Um, Figure stands are down to $2. They were $6. No brainer. If you're going to get some figures, grab these. I got a couple of these. That's the zombie kit, and I'll show it on the toy cam there. Then they have some of the Strike Force attachments, but those zombie kits are great. There's the Alpha Base Trooper, the Scalons, the Shadow Wraiths. Now we're down to $16.25 a figure. So people that weren't like too hip to paying 25 for an O-ring figure, and I get it, man. Like I don't want to do it either. And in my opinion is that for Hasbro to be charging that much for like a 1/18 scale figure is kind of crazy, because I know they have the volume to bring those prices down. But for these independent creators, I don't think they're gouging us on this. I think that's just what it costs to make money back on it. And these are passion projects. So, I feel like they need to make that money to continue making stuff. And, that's why I'm a consumer for it. Not justifying it or, anything like that if it's not for you. But, some of these are selling out, and they're down to $16.25 on some of these. So I snatched up a few of them. I was just like, I got to grab some before they sell out, to fill in some of the holes in my collection. And one of the great things about Strike Force Alpha, if you look at this, actually have left. They don't even have they're sold out of a couple of these guys. But I was going to say one of the great things was like, if you buy him, if you buy Shadow Blade, he comes with the alternate head. So you could put the Wraith on there. And they have that pop and swap, kind of the heads pop right off the necks, the forearms, and boots pop off, and you could swap that out and make a different character. So you buy one figure, you're technically getting like enough to make two. You have to do some pop and swapping. So maybe that's not something you're really into, but that's pretty good. Let's see here. We've got, so I don't want to do it right now, but I'm just going to show you the Wicked zombie kind of pack, and you get that for just a few bucks, and you could use these. These are compatible with your other O-ring figures. So if you wanted to just go on there and just get a weapon, pack of these zombie parts, they look fantastic. I got a couple, and what you get with that is, you get the hands from the elbows down, the that cool head sculpt, and then the zombie bare feet. So you can have one boot foot, one barefoot, and it'll look really nice. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out to you guys for anyone who hasn't pulled the trigger on these, and maybe you would like some. They are selling out, so I don't know if they're going to replenish the Wave 1 stuff. I haven't heard anything. Hey, Fat Red Foo, how are you? And Task Force figures and games. Hey, happy Easter. Okay, that's a whole tangent. I'm lost on there. So, Barefoot zombies, darn it. Yeah, so that's the Strike Force Alpha stuff, guys. I know, we've covered it before. I love all the O-ring figures, so I'm just a big nerd for those guys. But I love the pop and swap technology. I love that each one of these O-ring lines kind of, especially the independent ones, have kind of like their independent, little thing. Like Strike Force Alpha is doing the pop and swap. Delta 17 kind of has that thing where they really tried to design every backpack for all the accessories to fit in, swivel wrists and whatnot, So here we have Lamar, the Gladiator from Reaction's O-Ring Plus line. I know some of you guys might have these. Let me go ahead and yes, yeah. So the neck peg. I will come right back for this. Hold on, but this is a good point. So it's kind of hard. So the ball joint that goes into the torso, right, will stay in the figure, and you can also pop the head off. So we'll take Dr. Diablo here, and we will pop his head off. So it looks just like that. And unfortunately, I can't really get a grip on this little. Shoot, I can't do it. I'm too weak. Hold on. Ugh. Okay, it's not happening right now, but yes, when it's being held in the body, it's a little easier to pop off, and I'm sure if you heated it up a little bit. But yeah, you would see the flesh neck sticking out, so I guess that's why they give you that function. But yeah, you would be able to pop the head off and pop another head right on, so they're easy to swap. So thanks for that question. Yeah. But yeah, $5 each. You get the head, the arms, and the legs. I mean, it's no brainer, like I said. Let's go back to, yeah, Conan G.I. Joe. Now, he's much bigger than your average 118 figure. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to rip him right out of the package. I'm not really saving any of this cardboard. So, and just first impressions, because I've heard a lot from people, good, bad. Some people love these, some people hate them. And I've always been one of those kind of guys that just kind of like to check it out myself. First impressions is plastic feels all right. This head, the hair, I can tell you right now, is sculpted, so it limits the head movement. They didn't do bald necks in these figures, I don't think. So let me get my fat hand out of the way, and we can take a look. But yeah, joints feel nice and tight. He is significantly scaled up, so he's a chunker. One thing I noticed though is really big footholes. So I don't think this works with. I don't know if. Well, we'll find out. Hey, it works with the Strike Force Alpha stand. So there we go. Sorry, Dr. Diablo, we stole your stand. And let's go ahead and let's put Matt LaCroix next to him. And wow, you could just see the difference in height there. That is significant. And yeah, that is cartoon accurate. I like it. So far, I like the figure. He didn't come with any accessories, so let's see. Let's see. Was fed any other 118 lines that robot would get deep fast. Yeah, hey, I know some people but yeah, I think they would. The thing is, they are designed for that pop and swap technology. So, but I'm sure if you were to take them apart, you could use them. That's a neat peg compatible. They come down in price, all four of them. That's the Super 7, right? So not really a fan of the plastic on it. Yeah, I guess. I mean, he's a beefier character, so it does feel. I can't really say I think when I get to an O-ring figure, because I've opened up I think the twins were the only ones I've opened up before. So, and those, they felt all right. Good enough, not perfect, but pick your favorite characters. Yeah, I think I got the first wave, and then I kind of been picking and choosing since. Um, and then maybe I did get a couple, I think, just to compare. He does look about that size, yeah. Oh, those feet, yeah, they do fit a Joe stand, and the Strike Force Alpha ones do. That's just me being stupid. Uh, yeah, Conan does tower over that guy. Okay, uh, that would be a nice one. These things hit clearance, and you could get them on the cheap. That would be a good reuse of that torso. Uh, Very cool. A little disappointed with the Zartan and Zorana from the Transformers pack. Oh, okay, yeah. Pirates. Okay. How you doing, Pirates? Welcome. Happy Easter. Uh, sure. Okay. So it was at the plastic. I thought they were all right. I had them. I haven't touched them in a long time. So I will show you. I was fortunate. Oh yeah. So because Ramar came up, I have this guy. That's Duke from the same scene, and the Snake Eyes. I think I got them for $3.99 or whatever, Ross. So no, I wish they had. I mean, listen, for $3.99, I think these figures are all right, but yeah, I don't know. And yeah, I did like the cartoon, but yeah, we got the nice net that comes with. I mean, they threw accessories in on these. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. And the detailing is decent. It just seems like, I don't know. It's like when the figures are kind of these are kind of deep cuts, the cartoon versions, the things that we never really got as kids. And they have them. Uh, they're cool and all, but I don't think these were $20 cool, but what do I know? Right? Anyway, I think if you could pick these up clearance like I have, especially if you could pick up like those green shirts and the Cobra Troopers, they're great to fill out your ranks and fill up your base, you know, with extra figures. Mr. Cardboard, how are you? Uh, Happy Easter, sir. Yeah, for that price, I'm down for a couple of them. Fatal Fluffies would be great at a discount. Yeah, I think if you could get that larger buck is really kind of the more interesting part of that. Um, yeah. So yeah, I mean, the sculpts look pretty good. They're nice, clean, kind of. I mean, that Duke looks like the cartoon Duke, right? I mean, it looks pretty good. Um, we're going to see him in a second in O-ring form, so we can kind of compare. Um, I'll tell you, it's kind of a bitch to get his freaking sword in his hand. Look at that! I can't really get it in there. All right, enough of this nonsense. I just broke something. No, I just dropped it. Okay, so there's Duke and Snake Eyes versus Raymar. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah. So who else did we get? Oh, speaking of larger than life characters, we've got the Fatal Fluffies. Now, I think they did a great job. The card art looks good. The full file cards, I think, is really nice. Um, these bigger, chunkier figures are. I mean, they do feel pretty substantial. They don't feel too cheap, you know. But like I said, not really a huge. Oh, okay. So feeling this guy. You know what? Yeah, I mean, he feels pretty good. I don't, I don't know. Like I said, most of like the things that like get me with figures is not so much. I guess really the things that bother me is like when they can't properly hold their accessories. That's like a pet peeve of mine. Where I'm like, you designed this, you sent it out, you packaged it, and the guy can't even hold the thing that he comes with. That's like something that gets me. Like I just get annoyed with that, or they hold them, or they can't hold the pose. Like their leg just falls down, loose joints and stuff like that. It does kind of get on my nerves more so than like anything else. But yeah, he feels pretty good. Oh, he just fell over. I do have several packs of those. Oops, Strike Force Alpha stands. And I guess I should have had them out here for this, because of course you want to see that. You want to see these figures. Why don't I do that? I should have put a garbage over here because I'm gonna rip through these cards. This guy, I don't think we have to open. He is just one of the old Super 7s. Here is the Serpentor. Any of you guys have this one? There we go. I'm just going to talk all these cards. I'm not keeping any of them. But, I do like this. So far, I like this dagger he comes with. I think that's a cool looking accessory. Didn't the 6-inch one or the classified one come with those, like the snake? Remember he took the snakes off his helmet and stabbed Duke with them in the show? So this cape is a little goofy. It's not. Okay, I got it back on. So, I mean, all in all, this one joints feel tight. He's holding on to it. I think the colors and sculpt and the paint all looks pretty decent. What do you guys think of him? I think he's a decent Serpentor. Definitely, definitely good. Really wish these things came with stands though. That would have been really nice, but they did not. But yeah, Strike Force Alpha stands work with Super 7 G.I Joes just right. So that's great. Oh, look at this ugly guy. I'm going to put him back here. He is a 3D printed figure. Okay. So what do you guys think of that? Yeah, I do hate it when they can't store or carry all their gear. Wraith Mace, happy Easter. How are you, sir? Yeah, that's really annoying too. When you use snack bags. Oh yeah, you got that Serpentor? Yeah, I don't think he's so bad. I do wish they were cheaper in price. I mean, I would love it. And that's what I was saying. So here's Duke. This is the O-ring version. And just gonna yoink them right out. I'm not kind of not worrying about. This, laser rifle is, I'm guessing, accurate to the show, based on the cartoon stuff. What's the? Is that the? Because this is kind of the same outfit that. Okay. Just like the other Duke figure, I really can't seem to get this fucking rifle. I'm trying to get it into his hand. And I am having a hell of a time. Okay, got it. All right. This one, it feels tight. I will say, like on his arm plastic, I do kind of feel maybe what you're talking about, like on him. It does feel like it's lighter weight, but here we go. We've got the Super 7 O-ring versus the Super 7 Duke. The sculpt is different, so they didn't just take the same sculpt and right. He is slightly different, and it almost looks like the head on this one looks better than the head on this one. But that's just my observation. What do you guys think? But all in all, okay. I probably could have skipped him. You know, and I wouldn't have really cared. Here's one that I got to check out. Oh yeah, for storing those, yeah. Python Patrol bag, nice. Bags that Barbie Fashion's coming out would be great to store things. I use those tackle boxes. They're like multiple dividers. You could put different things there. So those are fun. Those work pretty well. Wrong one. Okay, let's check out the Micronauts. I know some of you guys have these. Beta Ray Bob, especially. I've seen a lot of his posts on them. Let's go ahead and just tear into them. Yeah, one of the things is I never really had Micronauts. I know they're like the granddaddy of all O-ring figures and stuff, but never really had them. And then the few I have, I really do like that. That's pretty neat. Where inside is silver when you open up the knees there, and the way those ball joints look like the little. But yeah, nice and tight. Big ball joints on the shoulders there. That's part of the design, I'm sure. This arm is a little loose, so not something. Not that he has to really hold anything, and then he has this cool jetpack. I like it. I mean, I'm a sucker for O-ring figures, and I'm an easy customer when it comes to those. So yeah, you're gonna do pretty good by me if he just looks and kind of has the possibility of a typical O-ring figure. Then we've got Biotron, got him as well. We'll pop him out of the package. It's going to be so great to cut down on all the space that you're taking up. And of course, I've heard, this is a pale comparison to the original toy, which was much larger and had a transformability kind of function. This backpack comes off. So, this is also, I think they were referencing the comic where they say, these guys have swivel wrists. Should have done it with the G.I. Joes too. But yeah, he's kind of goofy, but cool. I like him. Like I said, I don't have like too much of an emotional attachment or a history with the original, so I need more toys. Yeah, like a hole in my head. All right, these are the ones that I think we got to talk about because I think this is the most unknown ones. I know a lot of you guys have these Super 7 O-rings and and that is these Z. What are these? ZD Toys. Now they say they have a Disney license in China or South Pacific. Oh, I see. They gave up a part of the thing. So this is interesting. Super 7's doing O-ring Back to the Future and Universal monster figures. I'm down. I think that would be. What I think is funny is they could probably just redo their entire catalog, everything that they've done. And that was like these nostalgia things, toy lines that never got made, Back to the Future, and so on and so forth. All these IPs that they snatched up and did those 5 POA figures for some of which they're going to go back and kind of retread and get kind of double use out of those. But if this O-ring thing takes off, but these ZD Toys Spider-Man and Avengers figures are really interesting, and these I became aware of these from the Marvel, the Epic Heroes series Facebook group, I believe it was, and that's where someone there grabbed them. And one of my critiques of that Epic Hero series, well, one, it's a kids focused toy line, but I noticed in their kind of weird value 5-inch line, Marvel Legends, and then other toy lines, like they did all the Spider-Verse figures, they did a wide cast of characters and stuff. And then it seems like in the Epic Heroes lines, they're doing, I don't know, just kind of the same old Spider-Man over and over again, or not really a great variety of villains to go with the heroes, not really any female characters and whatnot. So these are ZD Toys. This one says Avengers Infinity Saga, Iron Spider-Man, and here he is. So let's just take a look. Oh, let's get him out of the package. That's the figure, so you can see. They just come boxed in this little plastic thing. And there goes his leg. So now these are, or they were pretty inexpensive, because I'm going to tell you something real quick. I ordered these about a month ago, maybe a month ago, and they took a little while to come in. These were $3.50 each when I ordered them, and now they don't, or these at least don't have knee articulation. So they do have a swivel here. It's a ball joint, and it pops off pretty easily. But the paint and sculpt on it look pretty decent. And these do plug into the back. But $3, $3.50, I think, and free shipping. That was from AliExpress, if you've ever used them. I know you can't, not every listing is kind of accurate or exactly perfect, so you kind of have to be a little cautious and shop around with what you purchase on there. But I've never had a bad experience where something that was misrepresented or came in. So now we also have some shoulder articulation, but his arm's not falling off, but nothing in the elbow. So we've got, it's like a 5 POA figure, I guess. It does come with a stand, and it does look good. So I originally was going to just order some of these villains just to kind of pad out my section, because there's so little of them. Especially, like, this is the one that caught my eye. It was actually this Doc Ock, because he's a very good, like, cartoon accurate, or like, reminds me like Spider-Man. I guess he might be from a video game, but he just seems like a very good Doc Ock for me. Take a look at him, and he was like the first one I was going to order. When I saw him, I was like, he was pretty good, because that Web Shooters one was kind of a disappointment. He was like 5 POA. This one is 2, but the sculpt was a little. Okay, so yeah, that's the thing. So I went to look yesterday when I decided to do this stream. I was going to grab some images of these figures, and all of these listings are gone. I can't get these. So I don't know if that has to do with the tariff stuff, or if it's also because, like, I think Disney, because these do say Disney on them, ZD Toys, and kind of like how Haya has the license for Pacific regions and not, you know, um, or they're not supposed to sell them over here, but they do anyway to certain retailers. I don't know if it had more to do with that. So now on this Doc Ock figure, it looks like we're getting um, much more articulation. Now the arms don't work that. Oh, yeah, they do. They work okay. We got elbow, we've got wrist, we've got head, and knee. So this is like an 11 points, and this was the Spider-Man packaging. So this may be a later model that came out after those Avengers Infinity Wars. But I gotta tell you, he comes with this a stand, and I guess they all go in a circle. It's a semicircle, and these tentacles look much better than the ones that I've seen from even Hasbro. So they are not posable in any way, but they do look a lot better. They plug right in the back, and I would say, it was just that they were $3.50 each. I think that's what I was like, because I was going to order just like 2 or 3 of them, and I was just like, you know what? I just got one of each. I was like, let me just try these out because I'll regret it if I didn't. And I regret nothing about this one. This Doc Ock for me is just fantastic. Um, I'm really liking him. Let's go ahead and switch to this over here. We'll have him. So you could adjust these. Can he hang on? Look at that. He's hanging on. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, $3.50 each on these. Yeah, the Hyatt toys look great, but they are pricey. And you're looking at like $30 each for them once you have them shipped, right? You have stuff, but you're waiting for tariff. Okay, I don't know how it gets, but I know that these aren't listed anymore. So, oh yeah, Fantastic Four would be great. I would love that. Hey, Thanoscopter, how's it going, buddy? So I gotta just say, for just trying these out, man, that Doc Ock is everything they should have done. And I've said for years, those 5 POA Marvel figures that they were doing a few years ago, I thought that the costume and color and sculpt choices that they did for those were great. Very retro. If they did that with just the 11 points of articulation and put them out for a decent price, I think everyone would be all over those. Like, because the Epic Heroes is like, it's a kid's line and it kind of looks like a kid's line. So unless you're really, like, they're just not for everyone. And the same thing with the other one too, where it's like, um, you got those classic styles, but the articulation and the price was pretty much the same. So here we've got just here is the second one I opened up there, and I attached his base to the Doc Ock one, and this has this is like just as much articulation as like an Epic Heroes figure. We've got, and it doesn't have that annoying T cut in the crotch where. So these feel good, man. Right? This is what Hasbro would charge you, $12 for. But I dropped the stands, so we're gonna just, I'm gonna go with this this roof thing that we've been doing. Let's go ahead and see if I can just get them to balance up on here. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and put them up there. For the Eagle Force, so I don't really. Usually, what I look for is that they. I think you could look at the shop, like the reviews on the shop, and a lot of them are kind of bots. But You want to look for like a lot of completed transactions. I think if you look on there, it shows how many like they've sold, and usually ones with like not a very good like throughput rate, might be like a scam shop or something like that. But you're covered. So I think AliExpress has you covered for 30 days on most things, or even longer. I'm trying to, maybe I did have one thing where I had to get a refund at one time where it was just one of those things where it's like misleading. Like it showed, let's just say like US, like this thing. It showed like a USB hub, but it was just a cord for it or something, where it showed the entire package. And then I just got like a part of it. And I just said like, you know what? This is not what you sent. But on the action figures, if they're boxed, like the Eagle Force stuff, I'd say you're probably pretty safe. Um, the new Spin Master DC stuff is pretty nice for $7.99. Yeah, I love it. I've been collecting that stuff for a long time. And once again, that is AliExpress, but as of yesterday when I looked, they are no longer available. I don't know if they'll be back. I don't know if it's a licensing thing or a tariff thing because a lot of other stuff was available. Even other versions of these, and I can pull them up. There's like these kind of Venom verse ones where it's like half Venomized, half Spider-Man, and the paint colors look pretty cool, but not something I was really interested in. And hello and happy Easter. And love the Spin Master line. Yep, yep. And hello. So this has got me excited too. So that's Ghost Spider, which is Gwen, right? So they made one for the Epic Heroes line, and I've seen a couple of comparisons over there on the Facebook group. And I forget who it was on the Facebook group that turned me on to these, so thank you to them. But these are a little shorter, I think, but I think that works out in some cases, especially like in the case of Ghost Spider here. But yeah, we've got some pretty rad um, articulation. You got like that 11 points. It does seem that these Spider-Man ones are made well, uh, much better than that Avengers branded one. So if you were going to pick one, I would say if you're just going to put it on the shelf, those Avengers ones so far looked okay. That Iron Spider, but these feel much better. And that Ghost Spider does look pretty good. I like her. $3.50, guys. You can't beat it. Here's one of my favorites too, the Scarlet Spider. So I love that they did all these variants where, we got Miles, we got Scarlet Spider. I have Spider-Man 2099, Mr. Miguel O'Hara, one of my favorites. I love Spider-Man 2099. And I gotta say, Hasbro, pay attention, man. Look at this. They did an Epic Hero line where they had Scarlet Spider 2099, Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man, Black Suit Spider-Man, Venom, Carnage. I mean, they could get us for so much. And this Scarlet Spider's looking sweet, man. It's pretty cool. And you know what I want to grab real quick is I have an Epic Heroes Spider-Man close by here. But, nice paint job on this. Oh, geez, I'm not even on camera. He looks good, though. I like him. Hey, what's up? Look, here's I'll tell you, they put a little foot peg on that, but he's not standing on the foot peg very well. So let's go ahead and stand good old Ben up next to. So yeah, I mean, it fits in with the series perfectly, right? I think that's pretty good. That looks great. I mean, they don't have like ankle rockers or anything, but I think that's good enough to have some fun, right? Let's go ahead and slide him in there next to. I don't know what this base is forming. It just looks like a circle. But do you think it forms like a spider symbol or something? But I'll tell you, it's like a really small peg hole, and this is a softer plastic than like the Epicuro plastic. Not by much, but I'll tell you, they don't go down on that peg very far. They kind of, it's easy to knock them off. Um, I mean, but the villains, that's what it was all about for me. We did get a Green Goblin and a Vulture in the Epicuro line, and they were decent, for sure. Not something I hated, but once again, this style just looks great. I don't know exactly what it comes from. And look at that. They give you a pumpkin bomb sculpted into his hand. And yeah, this paint job doesn't look like the sharpest thing ever, but there are a lot of really nice fine details. Like if you could see here, like this is a separate piece with that tattered cloth look, and the satchel, it is glued onto him, but yeah, it's fine because you don't lose it, you know? And okay, this joint's a little tight. I don't want to force it to bend him. And it is like a plastic ball joint, but he doesn't come with a glider, but you could source one from a variety of places. Like I love the one that came with the uh, the 5 POA one. That was really nice. Uh, well, yeah, from what it looks like, Largo was asking about some new O-ring stuff. Um, yeah, I mean, Super 7 seems to have some pretty big plans, and I know that there is a couple of other Kickstarters planning to go, like World War Hell from Grindhouse Toys. There's one called Rise of Nexus that's coming up that looks pretty exciting. Another one is from the uh, the Undead Operators is going to relaunch. Now that was one that did not quite make it the last time, but they're going to go again, and we should get some Wave 2 announcements from some of our favorite O-ring people like Delta 17, Strike Force Alpha, and hopefully we're going to be getting something in hand this year from some of these Kickstarters we backed from Operation Recall and Call Sign Longbow. Uh, at $350 each for these, how can Hasbro justify $10 plus each for their Epic Heroes figures? Now, I don't know if in the Asian or Pacific markets, the because this construction, I will say, I was saying that the plastic is smaller, and these joints, some of them may not look as good as those, or those are very basic, and I don't know how they would hold up to rough play. But at the cost, yes, they're much less money, and the licensing may be less expensive in other countries as well. But yeah, I mean, you know, this is $10. I think be reasonable. I think when like Spin Master's been selling those DC figures for $7 to $8 for the last 5 years. This line came out in 2019, 2019, and they were always $8, $7.99, and they did a pretty good job, and they were fun. So I thought that was pretty good. But then like when Hasbro did their kind of version of it, they went like, I think they went like, even on the 5 POA figures, they were at like $13. And then when they did the Epic Hero line, they started at like 12, but now you're getting them for like $9 or $8. Not sure. It'll depend on the release date. I don't know what the question was. I'm sorry. $7.98 for Spider-Gwen is a good price. I don't think that's that bad. Especially you just walk into Walmart, you buy it. These are kind of a. So here's one, because the Venom figure from the Epic Hero line is one of my favorites. I really like him. I think he's just fun. He's got that big tongue sticking out. He looks like a psycho. Let's see how this one does. Wow, I got to tell you, this thing, he's heavy. He's a heavy boy. He's a little fatter than your average figure here. And in the pictures on the website on AliExpress, I thought I wouldn't like him because he didn't look like he was big enough to be imposing to. I love this line right now, the ZD Toys. Look at that face. He looks great, and he's got a good sculpt. He's a hulking brute. He's got decent articulation. I like him. I like him. Now, they gave him the same stand with the tiny little peg hole, and he is much heavier than all the other figures. He's probably twice the weight of one of the other figures. He looks really good. But how is he going to hold up on this stand? And you know what I'll do? I'll try to put the stand together at the end, maybe, and we'll see if it makes like a spider symbol or something fun. But moving along, I want to keep going with villains because I think that's where this line blows Hasbro away right now. Is these villains look great? Look, we got another one. So that Doc Ock, I think is great. The Green Goblin, I think is okay. That Venom's sick, man. He's pretty cool. These are, like I'm gonna say, like they're not exactly the same quality as like an Epic Heroes or a Produced Toy Hero or Spin Master, but they're close. They're close. And we've got Electro. Look at his face. And he's a pretty basic figure, but come on. You need bad guys to fight. You got 10 Spider-Man. You got Spider-Man in every. You got Aqua Spider-Man, Wing Spider-Man, Jet Spider-Man, Motorcycle Spider-Man, and you got Venom. And they did the water squirting Doc Ock. But you need his whole. Spider-Man has a rich rogues gallery, and one that probably I would say, are one of the only ones that rivals that of Batman's. And just as far as the amount of stuff you could produce there, looks pretty good. Let's but yeah, no accessories, just a basic figure. Not hard to do. So Hasbro, why don't you skip another reissue of Spider-Man and put some tooling into another villain, please. Here's just Spider-Man. Just a basic Spidey. Yeah. Oh, I see what's going on here. So I think the Spider-Man goes in the middle of the circle. So circles around him. And for reasons. So one thing I'll say off the bat, Spider-Man, his head looks bigger than other Spider-Man. So here we go. Where these sculpts look very similar, that big head. Height-wise, they're pretty much the same. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about him. I like him though, and he does have the Spidey whip fingers on one hand and a fist on the other. I would say the paint and sculpting is probably not quite as detailed as that on the Epic Hero one. This is the one that I think came with the water or the jet or something like that. This is like a jetpack Spidey or something. But he does come with this cool, I mean, it's a cool Spidey symbol. If you're a kid, these are inexpensive enough that you would just buy this for your kid, and if it didn't make it that long, uh, no biggie. You weren't like spending $40 or $20 on a figure. Um, so once again, pretty cool. I like him though. I think he fits in there. Yeah, where is the DC Metal Force Gorilla God? Yeah, I don't know. They are like, they'll announce something at a toy fair, and then 2 years later it'll be clearance on Amazon when we never saw it on the shelf. I don't get it. I just don't get it. So yeah, we're getting quite a collection growing here. Let's go ahead and once again, I'm gonna thrill you here with another villain. Let's it's a little easier for me to just do this because I can see the chat. But the Rhino, come on. And they did go up a little bit on him. One of the things some of the lines do is even like the big villains will be, exactly 3 3/4 inches. Spin Master kind of did that with their first line of villains, where Clayface. They had like these really big torsos and tiny legs to make them 4 inch because they I don't know how it didn't stay that height, but another piece of the thing. Hey, solid Rhino here. He is heavy, so he's not like just cheaply made. He feels like a quality figure. He's got big old feet. He's got some sharp things. Yeah, he's pretty good. Let's see how he compares. Height wise, I think he is kind of obviously all the villains are going to be a little undersized, but I think they did a great job, and I can't believe oh, and that's something just reminded me, like Marvel Epic Heroes, like Hasbro charges more for the Hulk figure or the Thanos figure. It's like $2 more. They're like a $15 deluxe figure, which is just, once again, I understand they're a company, but it's kind of annoying. Yeah, he's not much taller than Spider-Man or any of the other villains, but he is heavier, he's thicker, and he is built up more. So I think that's not bad. So it's getting a little crowded over there, guys. If there's something you want to see a little closer up and you wanted me to get into the toy cam, feel free to ask. I don't mind doing it. I know I'm kind of just rushing through this, but I do have a lot to get through. So yeah, I agree. That's why I got them all, because I was like, at $350, I'm doing this order on AliExpress. Damn, I might as well just get every one of them and just see what they're like, right? And welcome to my world. Yeah, t-shirts $5, except XXL people, you pay $8 for the same thing. Yeah, it does cost more. Here's one that I think is just sweet. This is Spider-Man 2099. I missed out on the whole Marvel Universe, DC kind of universe thing where they did 3 3/4 inch figures for several years. That was like the late aughts, I guess, and into the early teens. And I missed all of that. I wasn't doing anything with toys, so those are all kind of lost on me. I may have seen one or two, and but they are not cheap on the secondary market. Just dropped another stand under my desk here, so that's the third one that went down there. Will say, I'm liking my Spider-Man 2099 right here. Love it. He had those webs that hung off of him, so they have these like softer plastic web pieces. I don't like that blue color. They were kind of like, but I think it looks okay. I don't think they look amazing, but they're okay. And some of these joints I notice are not, they're locked up right out of the package, and I don't want to force them because so on every so often on these figures, as I'm pulling them out of the package, I'm noticing like just a frozen joint. So that is something to consider. But once again, You're really not going to hear me crying about a $3 figure. You know, a figure that's $3.50 not being perfect. Okay. I think that does it for the Spider-Man figure. So that looks really good, man. Gotta say, the Spider-Man that we don't have, Scarlet Spider 2099, Ghost Spider, you know, I think those are great. Especially since we don't have them in the Epic Hero line. Regular Spider-Man with the big head, Iron Spider from the Avengers thing, they're all right. You know, they're not, I'd say they're probably a draw between them and the Epic Hero ones. Here's another Avengers figure. And I think we're going to see the same thing here, where it's just 5p away, but this is a Thanos figure. And kind of like Spin Monster, the scale on these looks smaller. So like Captain America and Thor and Hulk and everyone look like the same size as Spider-Man, you know, so I don't think that's the best. But yeah, yeah. If you get an opportunity to buy these, I'm just going to say right now, this feels like a cheap knockoff. It's painted all right. It looks okay. But can he even hold this? He can. Okay. But he has no elbow, wrist, or any other articulation. He just moves. And his legs don't even move past this. That is it. And he comes on a stand. So, and they are scaled lower than, they're scaled smaller than the, like, I'll put Thanos next to Spider-Man over here. If you see, even up on that, you know, he's like the same height as Spider-Man. So yeah, like here's probably the most egregious one here, which is the Hulk. So these are to me they're not great. Kind of yeah, his leg already fell off. It looks like they've made some definite improvements there, sculpting and articulation with that Spider-Man line. This Avengers Infinity War line is not as good. And it's just, you could feel it right out of the package. They're okay at best. I mean, here's Hulk versus Rhino. And, you know, I guess they're kind of the same height, but Rhino just looks better. Right? So, let's take a look. Just, I got a couple more. We got a Captain America. Which also, this was Infinity Saga, so we're doing that. We got a shield. I mean, sculpt and costume choice and stuff and paint, they all look okay. They're good shelf display pieces. And yeah, once again, $3.50. But after the Spider-Man stuff, these kind of feel underwhelming. And I would challenge anyone, if you know somewhere to get these, a reliable place to get these, you know, they may be available in like Hobby Link Japan or something like that. This AliExpress link that I had, even the store that I bought them from, I tried to go into my order and it just says not available at this time. So I don't know if it was a thing with, like I said, because these seem to be licensed by Disney. Here is an Iron Man from that. Let's pull him out. I'll have to do some more playing around, but this Iron Man has like this repulsor array. His arms move at, is it ball at the shoulder? No, they fall off if you try. Yeah, they're just popped onto a little ball joint there. So you get some limited articulation with them. So look, once again, looks decent. Accessories, his backpack really doesn't stay on very well. Looks decent enough. Only 350, 5 POA, not terrible. But this is the kind of thing where, like, if you ordered from AliExpress and you were like, wow, these are 350, then you'd get them and you'd go, okay, I know why. Whereas the Spider-Man, I'm going, wow, these are 350. I got a hell of a deal, you know? Iron Man. The Thor that came with the Epic Hero line, I don't know. I never really got into him. I kind of wanted a cool Thor figure, and he was never really great. So here is War Machine, which again, nice looking paint job. He looks pretty sweet, and he comes with what I'm guessing is his shoulder cannon, but it looks like it pegs onto the back of his thing. It doesn't actually flip up, so there's no front belt position for that. And once again, 5 POA. So no improvement there, but you know, you do a Iron Man kind of Hall of Armor, and you just sit that in the box or something. Pretty good. And lastly, we've got Thor. So here is the mighty Thor. Let's take a look. Yeah, I think, you know, when I was unboxing this, I was like, okay. All right, it's okay. So we've got a very plasticky cape, very plastic, very stiff. A 5 POA Thor figure with a bit of a man. See, that's a little clearer, right? Let's take a look here. It looks all right, I guess. A little derpy, I guess, right? Let's try and get that cape on. They really can't do it. A good Thor figure. Right? At least I haven't seen one in a while. His legs also look kind of funny. Doesn't like the curve on like his upper thigh look weird, like it's bent inward? And then he comes with Stormbreaker. Ooh, and it is not going into his hand. But once again, who am I complaining about? You know, $3. It's not really a big deal. Hey, there you go. There you go, right? Yeah, Hall of Armor. Yeah. I think that's great. Even for Batman, I think that would be cool, you know. Hey, Triple D's Dungeon. Hi, how are you? Happy Easter. Like them zombies, yeah. So yeah, if you wanted to see anything else, the other thing I wanted to show you was some of the just some of the one of the things yeah, they can't do a Ghidorah figure. They keep giving him a human head instead of horse-like head. Beta Ray. You know, they did make a really good Beta Ray Bob figure. Um, Beta Ray Bill, duh. Beta Ray Bob. You got me. You got me. There is only one. Um, so yeah, they did make a really good one. But I did want to show you just some of the fun stuff that has been rolling off the printer. And this is just kind of a test print. I just dropped an arm off of it, but that's that snake armor. It's an old file that's been on Thingiverse for years and years and years. But they gave me this like blue metallic filament to try it out with. And yeah, that has a O-ring figure inside it, just like the original. So it kind of, but I thought that was a nice color. If I could find the other one, I'll put it back on. So like I said, um, here, I'll show you some of the stuff I've been working on. So I grabbed a I grabbed a roll of glow in the dark filament, and I tried to make this Slimer for my O-ring Ghostbusters figure. And he didn't come out great. So then I just redid him in just like a gray filament. And then I used a craft store glow in the dark paint. And I think he came out better this way. So I think this is the one I'm going to display with my O-ring figures. But yeah, it was a nice little free file that was just on the on Thingiverse there. So because my son got so into he's really into 3D printing now. He's been making a ton of hold on, I'm running over the packaging. I was just throwing it. It's so loud. Okay. He's been making a ton of wargaming stuff. And I've had the resin printer for quite some time, but because of the toxic fumes, I haven't really been using it. So he just took it upon himself to just jack it for me, and he brought it out onto the back patio, and he's been printing for several days. So I just want to show you, because he was printing, I made some cool stuff. I have been buying files from people for years now, with the intention of setting up a workshop and ventilation system in my garage and stuff like that. This is a scan of a Palitoy Kraken. This 5POA figure. This is printed in resin, and I could just show you the difference between real quick. I don't have the exact same figure, but here is a Skeletron figure. Same sculptor that I purchased it from. This is Mr. Funky McClunky is his name, and I'll put a link in the description if you guys are interested in picking these up. But I think he does do printed, painted ones too that you could buy. But I'll tell you, this new FDM printer, the filament printer, that's the Skeletron right there, doesn't do a bad job. I mean, the detail's much better on the resin, but this thing's passable, and it printed fast. So it's not too far off. And then if you go a little bit bigger, like if you were doing He-Man size figures, I think you could do it. So here is an Orc Boy. This is supposedly 1/18 scale. And that is it's like a rainbow filament that I printed that in. So it's like different shades of green. It went from like this like kind of grayish brownish filament to a brighter green filament in the middle of the print. But he came out pretty damn good. He's being held together with just kind of hopes and dreams there. There's a Red Wolf pilot that is a filament print of an action figure. I did not make this, but I had to show him. He's just hilarious. What a great figure. And just hilarious that you get a Jack Black out of the Minecraft movie. And he's actually really well articulated, well made. And, he holds a pose very well. Looks good. And I think he was only like $10 too. Yes, here is a mashup from one of my favorite guys out there. That's Vivid Motion Creations. And follow him on Instagram. And I'll even leave a link. But every Halloween and Christmas, he does like this 30 days of like digital kit bashing models. So this was an Ewok with a from the movie Critters, from the 80s movies Critters head for Halloween he did. And this is actually, these were all designed to be printed in resin, but I did this in just FDM, and his articulation works just fine. And I think it has just enough detail. But, if I was doing a little cantina scene or something, I'd definitely throw him in the background, or even just print up a whole army of these and have them just murdering stuff. They're the some evil cousin of the Ewok or something. But he was just too much fun to leave unprinted. Here is a if you recognize it, he just fell apart, but that is a Rak Ghoul from the Old Republic. Um, that was fun. But this I did this one in FDM also instead of resin just to try it out, and that's a color kind of rainbow filament. And this I did this morning, so it's not. I still got to shorten that neck post and stuff like that, and do some processing. But that was just fun. Here is a really nice one, and I got this one from Level 7 Toys. That's a G.I. Joe O-Ring Mandalorian figure. And I did buy this pre-printed and assembled, but it's really nice. And one of the things he added too was ankle articulation on an O-ring figure. That's a nice touch. So really cool there. I like that. You could buy them painted from him, but they're much, I think, much more expensive. Or I think you could pay someone. But yeah, this was just Stormtrooper holding a birthday cake. Unfortunately, on the filament printer, the individual little candles did not come out at all. And then I think the last one I have is it's a Salacious Crumb wearing a jack-o'-lantern helmet, and I just printed him because he looked fun. But yeah, these are just fun things you can print up. I'm also working on some really big prints I got right over there that I'm not ready to show yet. But these are just, a lot of these, like as far as like the FDM or the filament printer, some of the advantages of that is, it's PLA, it's non-toxic. You can just print it right here behind you and snap it together. Yeah, some of the tolerances seem to be okay, but like some of the smaller details may get lost. So chunkier figures, bigger figures that don't have too much fine detail, I think they're okay, and they print pretty fast, like an hour maybe for one of those figures. Whereas the resin printer, and mine's an older model, so it's in a smaller build plate, but it's taken maybe 2 or 3 hours for like an action figure like that Action Force Kraken was like a 3 hour print. But then, the resin's toxic, so you gotta wear gloves. You gotta have an ventilated or like an exhaust system. Then you have to wash it with isopropyl alcohol, then dry it, then cure it with a UV light, then assemble it. So the post-processing takes quite a bit of time. But the result you get is very good, you know. But I think for some of our chunkier guys, um, I'm okay with that, and I will say you'll run into some issues when you go to paint them, though, because I think the resin takes paint a lot better. Uh, the layer lines, even if they're very small on the filament prints, kind of you have to seal them first, I guess, or prime them really well. I just kind of bought some craft dollar store paint, and I gotta, you know what? Give me 1 second. Be right back. Let me. Well, I could still talk, but what I'm gonna do is just go grab. I'm gonna go grab my flashlight. Just want to show you the glow in the dark effect works really cool. It's hard to catch on camera though, so I'm gonna see if it. Where's my light? Here it is. Okay, I got my light. I'm gonna hit the lights. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna see if I can get to work because it's really, really quite nice. I don't know. It's kind of too bright though, right? No. Let me try this. No, that's not gonna work. Yeah, you're never gonna see it. Okay. All right. Well, let me hit the lights. I'll share a picture maybe later. on Instagram or something with the lights. Let's see what you guys have to say. Cool snake armor. Yeah, I think that's pretty neat, right? You saw that evil Ewok sitting in the background. Yeah. He's great. He's a lot of fun. Mythic Legion's heads for 1/18 scale. Listen, if you had the digital file, but I mean, I knew a guy. This was like Joe Fest, like 2021, I think. And I remember him posting on Instagram. He used to take 1/12 scale heads, and he would use a process where he would cast a silicone mold with them, but you could basically you cast in full size and you use some kind of additive in the silicone mix, and then over time it shrinks 50%. And if you know the measurements, they'll basically be a 50% measurement, or you could adjust the additive to do that. And that's kind of how they used to do it back in the day or something. And then he would take resin casts of the shrunken heads and sell them. And he had some pretty cool stuff, but I've kind of lost touch with him. But I saw him at Joe Fest, met him. There's plenty of people doing just scans of heads, a lot of celebrity heads and whatnot, and selling them on Etsy, or you can even find the files and print them up and then maybe adapt them to the neck adapter that you want. Do you scan action figures and create print files? If you do, what do you use? So no, I have never scanned an action figure. Now, Funky McClunky, which I'll put a thing. Those Palatoy figures, he said, are scans of his figures, his 5 POA Palatoy Action Force figures that he scaled. And I don't think scanning technology is up there quite yet, where you could just scan something and it just comes out okay. It's like scan and then post process. So you still have to know some stuff there. You have to definitely, create the files and test it out and make sure the engineering is correct for it to work. Back, had to tell Carter to stop culling tourists on the beach. Oh, geez. How do you get the files to print? So if you go to like a website like Colts 3D or Thingiverse, they have tons of free options. Some of those action figures were absolutely free. Other ones only cost a couple bucks. So like that Murder Bear Ewok was, it was free during the promotion. And if you followed me on Instagram, I shared every one he did, that Vivid Motion guy, because he's been doing this for a couple of years now, and I just think it's hilarious. He does like really funny, like kit bashes, or just kind of mashups of your favorite Star Wars / other property. There's other ones I'm going to print up, and I've been sitting on them for a long time, so I'm just really happy. Really big prints? No, really big print. Big prints? Yeah, look at him. Teasing us like a prime date. Yeah, it's probably not going to be ready for next week, but I am working on some stuff. Robert, how are you? Visiting, tell everyone there I said hi and happy Easter. Craniac does some good ones for the different scales. Yeah, and I think some of those artists, they're really talented people, they can do face sculpts and stuff like that. They will put them in there to be scalable. There's a similar thing you could do with vinyl heads to make them shrink. Yeah, okay. He sent you a 8-inch Mego with a G.I. Joe. Was 12-inch head on it. Oh, is that right? So they shrink it after, it's like a factory head, and they could use some kind of chemical process to shrink it. That's really interesting. Yeah, I don't know how those other people do it, but I would just say like this: if you like painting and making your own toys and stuff, and just that's satisfying to you, then just getting a 3D printer and running off some prints and messing around and just experimenting with it will be fun for you. If you like receiving a factory ready, no processing, no extra stuff kind of thing, 3D printing is far from that right now. But you're not going to see that level of just plug and playness. Yeah, you're still going to have to do some stuff, but just getting a 3D printer, there is an endless amount of absolutely free models that you can download and print and have fun with. You know, one of the things is more like a playset kind of thing I'm working on that's big. And, you know, that was, like I said, a miniature model, and I just upscaled it and it worked. Some of them, you upscale it, it looks like crap. You know, you can't do it. But some of them are great. Yeah, put a chemical on it. I don't know which it was, and it doesn't destroy the paint either. Interesting. Interesting, interesting, interesting. I'd love to get into it. I will say, you know, we've been rolling for quite a while now. I've had a blast. I hope you guys have had fun. I really appreciate you guys joining and chatting with me today and sharing in my mass reduction of packaging. It's all over the floor here, and I got to clean it up now and throw it in the garbage. But yeah, that was pretty good. And then I'm gonna probably grab a figure storage case and start packing all these guys up in them. Like I said, the Avengers figures, I don't think I'm gonna do much with, but those Spider-Man figures, man, I really love them. I'm gonna have a lot of fun with those. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. Have a happy Easter. If you have any good links to where you can find those ZD Toys stuff, please leave it, because I'm sure people are going to be asking. I was going to link the listing, but as of the last night, it was gone. And anything else you guys got, please just let me know. Hope to see you guys next Sunday. Next Sunday is actually my birthday too, so yeah, I'll probably be definitely streaming. So yeah, right. Let's see. Yeah, it's my birthday. Yeah, I'll be here next Sunday. Don't know what time, and I don't know what we're gonna do, but if you guys come back next week, we'll have some fun. All right, thanks. Have a good one, everyone.